What is going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is Pixel Partners here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney 2. When we left off, we have begun the final trial. The judge has been replaced by Mr. Stronghart, Mr. Scary Man.
Yep.
And so that's intimidating, but now we gotta solve all the mystery stuff that's going on here for us.
And I started going off on him. I'm like, he doesn't deserve to have a unicorn on his cane. No, ladies and gentlemen, or other. He deserves to have a donkey on there, because he's an ass.
Oh my god, you dingus.
He ain't no mystical creature that defies beauty and logic. No, he's an ass. Anyway.
You dingus. So we're trying to figure out, number one, with this little testimony here, that's supposed to follow orders, and a little search of the boss off turn up the notebook. Apparently he was gonna meet at a gentleman's club called The Grouse. And looks like it was a big job, and the coppers went on it yet. As most of the witnesses saw the Reaper at the place too. So the thing that stands out, because we were able to get the Grouse added on to it, the name wasn't there first, so that makes it seem like that should be a big deal.
Yeah.
And we even pressed it again to get more information from it.
Correct.
So there's not anything to wait for in the testimony there. So, but I was looking through the evidence off camera. I don't see anything that's tied to the Grouse. I looked through this paper here and the Redhead Club on Lime Street and all that, and the
Say the Redheaded Club?
the Redheaded League,
It's
whatever
in
it is.
big all capital.
It's because of the club. It's causing issues for me.
Yeah.
And then photograph Mr. Vigil has nothing on it. The letter of introduction, that thing it has the Blackbird line
That's
with the boat
ship.
on it, so that doesn't involve the Grouse at all. I just missed a notice that ain't gonna have anything on it. The hairpiece, no. The candelabra, no. Policeman figure, no. Frame photo, there ain't nothing in there.
No, why are you going through everything and wasting time?
Because I don't know what to do.
What about the chest? Or
Well,
trunk or whatever it's
Because
called.
I was thinking of, because when I was looking in here, but I realized that they're only talking about, I missed the button. They're only talking about, just the Reaper being there with witnesses. Because we have this that is, we looked at it, and it's, the passport that he had. I remember to tell us something that was. Well, I'll let you go and read this. Maybe they have something new here, so.
Yeah, oh!
What is it?
So travel on 3rd of October, one day before the incident.
What? Really?
Halloween! Happy Halloween!
Okay, so maybe Gerson went to France the day before his body was discovered. So we need to. Okay, actually, wait. So we need to find the right one to put that at to say that he wasn't there. Because unfortunately, they're not even. He's gonna have a little Grouse. Coppers went out on it yet. Because that just talks about the witnesses saw Van Zeek's there.
Yeah.
That doesn't say anything about
Maybe
Gregson.
there's anything towards the beginning?
No, this just talks about all you're supposed to follow orders, investigate what they're told.
What,
You know.
and then...
And the little search was to turn up the notebook that had secret meetings in it.
Okay.
So maybe I'm gonna save here. I always have a backup that I've been afraid to use. I have one shot of using it before I get told off in the comments, probably. There is the story mode button that will play the game for us and solve the mystery. But that's only if we truly get lost and can't figure it out. But I think we'll try and put the passport. Now we can read it, hopefully. So, oh wait, we could read it before anyway. So, but it's from the day before, which is when Gregson is supposed to be investigating there.
Objection.
God
No.
damn. Oh no, this is going to be
We need as much health as we can.
My lord, as counsel for the defense, I must object to that last statement. And as the judge, I must deny your objection. There is no contradiction here. Oh. No contradiction,
God.
other than the fact that a Far Eastern lawyer is practicing in the British courtroom.
Wow!
But thereby not so far away, Lord Chief Justice, if you remember.
Damn! Okay, reload, please.
Okay.
We're gonna need all the health we can get when Angry Pants is up there.
I mean, it's not going to make any difference. It's all going to be the same health, but I don't know what tree to bark up on this one.
Is there anything else? We pressed everything, right?
We pressed every single thing before we started the part, so there's no new information we can get. So I think we already know details. I'm gonna see what the game tries to do. I'm gonna let story mode go for a second. Boss officer turn up a notebook. Okay, it's going over to the grouse. Oh,
What are you doing, game?
Wait, what? But it's a boat.
Oh, blackbird, grouse. She can't read.
Oh.
Well, she can, but not well. The SS Grouse! First class cabin.
Oh.
We should have looked at it.
We should have read that.
Oh my god.
Hey, they just gave us a hint. We can still present it.
Yokohama departure, 11th September, London arrival, 1st of November.
Ah, that's the boat that Professor Mikitoba and Judge Shigoku came on from Japan, isn't it?
Yes, I think it called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover.
I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Buria. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a member of the trip, don't you think?
Watch what you say or I'll bury you. Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary.
And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh wait, where'd it go? Oh, that's strange. Where could it have gone? Yeah, I remember all that now. Imagine was that this. Okay, but now it's been updated. Now it's relevant to the frickin' case.
Oh yeah, because they stopped at France.
Yes, they did. Which potentially that could have the implication.
Yes.
Of Gregson meeting up with Mikitoba.
That's exactly it.
And Caden.
That's exactly it.
Or I'm with
Caden.
It's because I read Caden up there, so I thought it was Amy. That's why I was like, wait, no. But yeah, you could have met up with both of them.
That's exactly it.
When they came in.
That's exactly it.
Objection.
But why would they want to meet up in France?
I've heard about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they are places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Seriously?
Did you see that face?
Cracked or something? Yeah.
That smirk.
Do we know for sure the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called the Grouse? The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean that the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on 31st of October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very irrelevant attitude. Irreverent attitude towards our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? A boat. A steamship. You think it's a ship.
Oh, I don't think. I know.
I have the evidence to prove it. Here. Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. The other side, my lord. Please be more specific next time. This appeared to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grouse.
Oh boy.
So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say, there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port. The ship arrived at the port of Dover on 1st November. Ugh. The day on which the sound like a gunshot was heard...
Whoa.
Sorry, listen, too many voices. The day on which the sound like a gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words...
That was like a Twilight Zone situation. I was like, what's happening?
On the day in question here, 31st October, when the victim was on his...
Clandestine
mission.
Clandestine? I don't know.
That ship hadn't yet docked on British shores. That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
Just an AU where everything is the same except Ryu and Kazuma's voices are switched.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question. Then show your evidence for that assertion.
Oh.
Very well.
Oh, we will.
Huh? Now we use the passport. In that case, counsel for the defense...
I'm so used to starting to read this. I have to stop myself.
Present your evidence to the court now. Evidence that substantiates your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the 31st of October.
That would be the passport. Yep.
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim? Fuck. Dated 31st October? What are you suggesting?
Will you stop scowling?
I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country.
Oh boy. Look at that stance. Jesus.
Order, order. This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized. The day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night.
According to my father, who was on board at the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there?
Oh. Why?
I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean you knew about this?
Oh, the music.
The prosecution's strategy for this trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations and the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something.
Wow.
What? And now that you've expertly proven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi?
Engie man.
A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts without exception. Let me guess. This is your intention from the outset, wasn't it?
Because he knew we could find a way to get the truth without him having to do anything.
The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper. The Reaper?
There's that music. The
Oh,
Reaper
boy.
theme music. Jesus Christ.
Order, order. What on earth are you saying, counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. What? Nani? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was in fact acting for the Reaper. So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was, obviously, an assassination. Huh? Beric von Zieks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice.
Oh, come on.
And you claim that was Inspector Gregson.
Leave Beric out of this mess. What the hell do you think you're saying, eh? My boss would have never done nothing like that.
And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense.
No, it can't be. We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we?
Even Van Zieks arrived at the same conclusion.
Yeah, that Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper.
Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his orders was Lord Van Zieks. No, the true Reaper is somebody else. Beric Van Zieks is not the Reaper. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all. Oh, you have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, counsel? Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Except for maybe possibly him, because if we're trying to claim that he died the day before, which was our assertion, we could then make the bold claim that he died on the ship. Because if we're trying to follow the line that we set last time,
but then how would
to
he
try and
have
give ourselves
been?
an alibi,
You would have to have been refrigerated all the way back.
Well, we are refrigerated at some point. I don't know, but our case last time relied on the fact of him having perished the day before.
Yeah. What if he went there to try and kill one of those two?
I don't know. I don't know if they're on the same side or different sides. I have no fucking idea. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Shikoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it. What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on board that ship. But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Riggs himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure.
Is he gonna say what you just said?
Well, he's probably gonna say that his mission failed. He met up with Van Zieks to discuss the assassination, and Van Zieks killed him in revenge for not getting his target offed. That's what he's gonna say. It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade.
Eh? What?
The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from yet earlier, that doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey.
You're lying! Even if all them bludgers what got taken out had it coming? The boss, what, the Reaper? Poor Gina.
There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time in Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors.
I ain't heard nothing, and I don't believe a word of it.
Then testify again, as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss.
I don't...
I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony.
Oh boy.
Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook.
Jesus Christ. Poor Gina.
Ooh-wee.
She's not happy. Yeah, this notebook does have a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victims, dates and places and stuff. And the last entry was in there was 31st October. It said grouse for the place on that date and the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal what got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago or something. But honest, the bot didn't do none of it. It was... you just investigating the Reaper, that's all!
Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. You require only established fact here.
Oh, fuck off.
This must be so hard for her. You can't deny it now, surely. Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, full named him.
What can't I deny? The notebook contained the name of the final mark and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim only could have known if he was working with the Reaper. So, who was to be this final mark?
That's what I want to know.
Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade, read the name. That's what I was, that's gonna be the important thing. I'm worried about a couple names showing up on here.
Yeah.
Read the name for the court. The name's written alongside the entry that mentions the grouse on the 31st of October.
Eh? How'd you read this then?
It's gonna be a Japanese name.
Oh no.
Reading's still not her strong suit.
That ain't the problem, Odo. It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's hard to read.
It's gonna be Jigoku. So if someone from overseas...
So it's someone.
It's someone from overseas.
Let me have a bash at it. Say Ishiro? Is it?
Wait.
Seishiro Jigoku.
Yeah, so it is Jigoku. Yep.
I was right.
Well, I was right.
Yeah, Seishiro. Jigokyu, maybe?
What? It can't be. Is that sure Jigoku?
But that's Judge Jigoku.
Sashiro Jikoku.
What? Shishiro Jikoku?
I'm gonna...
Seishiro Jigoku.
I don't care enough to say that name right. Certainly not an
because
English
remember
name, you're right.
I said, what if he was going after Mikotoba or Jigoku? I said that.
Oh, well, I was also thinking the same thing.
But I said
But
it.
we are correct.
We were
But
both right.
I was saying that I'm correct because that would implicate that Jigoku was doing some fishy business back in the day. And potentially... Sorry, not English name, you're right.
Objection.
But that can't be right. I know Judge Jigoku, and I saw him the day before yesterday, here in London. So I know for a fact that the man hasn't been assassinated.
You know him
As
too,
I
Kazuma.
said, the Reaper failed. Oh. Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the inspector personally.
Wow, you called it.
Yeah, that was kind of an easy one. The Reaper, of course, being the accused, Barrick Van Zeeks. It's an undeniably logical argument. I love it. Kazuma, you planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Whoa.
What was that? I think that was
This
Van Zeeks.
sounded like Van Zeeks, yeah.
That was a very
He has
angry
his
holdup.
wine! Oh.
Oh. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice whilst I stand accused of murder.
Gina's like, holy shit!
What, Van Zeeks? The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You'll return to the dock.
Dude, first person heel slam. It's the steel heel of doom.
Right from the front. I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That is the task of this court to decide. But there's one thing I can say unequivocally.
This is so cool to see from the
That
front.
girl is no detective.
Eh? What? Eh, no, that's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector.
Repeated rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you've clearly planned. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper, who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago.
Okay.
But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony.
Holy hell.
What did you say?
Okay, you guys, calm down. Sonardo, this is our chance. Let's make bets. Who's gonna win?
Well,
They both have swords. Wait, Kazuma has two.
I think it's gonna be the bigger one. My lord, the defense requests that the defendant be allowed to speak.
The bigger one.
You may be privy to important information relating to the testimony just given by the witness.
Oh god.
That is far more intimidating when you have that animation, kind sir.
Yeah.
Very well. I will make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination. Then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately.
Oh god.
At once, my lord. Ow.
He's just screaming internally.
Huh. So
Whoo-wee! Things are
Van-
getting heated in here.
is Van Zeeks trying to make the implication that we're seeing the beginning of the trademark Ace Attorney thing of planted fake evidence?
Maybe. Because
Saying
it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Especially with Stronghart here.
Yeah. Because he's pretty much saying that like everything is going as you guys have planned it to in the first place. You were wanting all this to go down.
Also, Barrick, he's a smart man. So he's usually, he hasn't shown to be one to throw out baseless accusations.
No.
So
he's an intelligent boyo.
that is a good theory on his part that this is
Yeah.
set up,
I'm sure.
especially with Evil Man as the judge right now.
Let's go ahead and go through this. Nobody has a lot of stuff we got for these past 10 years. In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper.
Not you and all. That ain't the only explanation, is it? He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret. And that notebook, it said what he found out.
If I may.
Ooh.
When originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believe the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out your own investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper.
One arm? What are you on about?
The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them on alone. The Reaper is an organization. With you at its head.
No, stop! He's
Listen,
like, I
he
swear.
hates the man.
I
so
know. He's like, I am this close.
I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I've been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location. You knew it said grouse. Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went down the day in question to investigate. Alone.
Ah, so that explains why several members of the club claim to have seen you there.
But of course, the inspector was not there. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship, docked on the northeast coast of France.
Northern
coast of France.
How'd you get northeast?
No idea. As shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Huh? Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of this notebook.
Fine. Something wrong, Mr. Naruto? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago.
Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I?
He was shocked that Van Zeeks knew it said grouse. So...
No, because Van Zeeks talked about the fact how... Because Van Zeeks is one of the first ones told us about the notebook existence, because he said... When he was in the jail, he said, I kind of broke into the inspector's office and read his notebook, so I knew where to try and
yeah,
look
but he
for
straight
him.
up said, you knew it said grouse with a question mark and an exclamation point, and he had both his hands on the things, and he was like, what?
I don't think it was that. I think it was more so because he got questionable when Kazuma said...
Like, look at the history real quick. Look at the history real quick.
I can go way up here.
Yeah, you knew it said grouse. He was just like, he was shook about that. That's the only thing he said.
But no, later on it was because Ryu had the exclamation points when he talked about being found in the victim's metal trunk. Because it's when did he find that?
Yeah,
because we found that thanks to Gina, because that trunk was hiding for a while. So unless he found it yesterday as well as us, he shouldn't have known about it in the metal trunk, right? I don't know. But like I said, we could be overthinking things. We're even going about this now.
Ace Attorney and the Pixel Partners are all about overthinking things.
Yes,
Overthinking
we are.
is the Pixel Partners' way.
Yes, it is.
It really is, sadly.
It truly is. Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff. What in particular?
Well, besides the victims' names, his other name kept cropping up.
What other name was that?
It's the one I told you yesterday. And the same name written over and over again.
You mean Asashin? Asashin? Whatever it's supposed to be? I'll always say it wrong.
I say Asashin. Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours or something, isn't she?
I wouldn't say that. Were you even listening yesterday? Asashin. The assassin.
What? Like, a killer, you mean?
Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable and who to use to get at them. But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying? If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes. Then perhaps what it said in the passport document, permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been clearly the assassin who was meant to take Sashiro Jukoku's life? Ow! Gina, can you confirm that? Against the final entry that this is graphs and Sashiro Jukoku, what name was written?
Oh, well, That's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it, it happens.
What?
It just had a question mark or something there, I think.
A question mark? In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case.
Oh.
But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not?
Oh, how infuriating.
A nameless assassin?
Sherlock.
Don't put that evil in this world. Said Grassman and the name? Mark. Is that what we just pressed? No, it was the, okay, so.
Hold it!
I cannot imagine Sherlock as an assassin, I'm sorry.
And you're saying that the mark listed was Sashiro Jigoku?
Seishiro.
Seishiro? Fuck.
That's what it said. Can't read your own language's names? What's wrong
Nope.
with you? Funny name if you ask me. And I thought your name was odd.
So pleased to have lost my crown there. Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature.
You good?
I hate that word. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago. Studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Stronghart. That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say. So Lord Stronghart was Judge Jigoku's mentor.
Huh.
If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now.
10 years ago, after that fateful case.
Precisely. In the aftermath of the professor case, his repatriation was organized immediately.
I don't think that's what that word was, but okay.
It's close enough. It's a mystery why
He
such a
likes
man would
using
be
big
listed in the inspector's
words.
notebook.
He keeps
Yeah.
saying words I've never heard in my entire life. I don't know about you.
I've heard some of them.
If I have heard them, I forgot. I didn't think it was possible, but the mood in it has got even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking.
Perfect.
Note about him being a criminal what got away from him in the court 10 years ago or something.
Hold it!
That's an interesting one. So
Yeah.
I would love. What do you mean a criminal? Yoshikoku's no criminal.
You're a little biased. Well, don't ask me. I don't know nothing about it. Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Jigoku did once appear in court here in Britain. It was related to the professor case, I'm sure. I remember now, yeah.
Yes, of course. You're right. Seishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and, actually managed to break the witness stand.
That's right.
It's gonna be something bigger than that, though. He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire. Oh, when he was charged. Or she was charged. It was a pitiful situation, yes. I'd forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted that trial too as it happens. You did? If
Oh.
only we heard about it. We heard about it. It was considered to be an adjunct to the professor proceedings, you see.
Oh, that's a tongue twister. Professor Proceedings. Try to say that 5 times fast,
I
kids.
couldn't say it once fast. But he was acquitted after being told to make reparation for the damage caused to the stand.
Oh.
And there you have it.
Have what?
Of what? Sure, the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court. Guilty or innocent alike.
Huh?
Why? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Goku was targeted for assassination... The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is. Come on, that's absurd! To take someone's life for that? Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who have been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension. But...
Hoo-wee. Right, I've had just about enough of this.
Gina?
All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people. It's cobblers. Come on, Odo.
Yes? What?
Why aren't you saying nothing? Why? Why aren't you yelling out objection or something?
What?
You've got to find the flaw. Do you usually? Someone's lying here. No question. You got to work out who it is. Please. For the boss.
Oh boy, no pressure. No pressure at all. That outburst was an insult to the court in your own testimony.
Oh, fuck off.
I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back slums couldn't make a detective.
You asshole.
When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Miss Lestrade. Is that clear?
I've had it with the lot of you. It's lies every breeding place you look at in this world, ain't it? Well, I've had enough. Gina.
So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind.
To do what, Mr. Naruto?
There was one point in this cross-examination when something was just said that just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd.
Oh, do you mean...
I'm not going to let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears.
Come on, Naruto, help. You gotta find the flaw somewhere.
I guess I'll maybe try and press this one. Just to see a... I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve.
Eh?
What do you mean? Amongst everything we have heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency. What? An inconsistency?
Really, Naruto?
I don't quite know what it means yet, but... yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... I mean, if we're going off of what I thought when he really freaked out was with Kazuma.
Take that!
Boom.
By you, Kazuma Asogi. Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering, counsel? Prosecutor Sogi has given no testimony. What are you suggesting I said that was inconsistent? You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you'll realize what you've done. Very well then, counsel, go ahead. What evidence reveals this alleged inconsistency in something Prosecutor Sogi had said?
The trunk.
What was I saying? Is it going to be the trunk itself?
Yep,
yeah,
the traveling trunk.
There's a lot that's going on here, so I'll go with
Take
this.
that!
Boom.
This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson. Metal construction, is it? It's only very heavy. What's this? A blood stain? A relatively fresh one, too.
What? You mean that ain't grease from all the boss's fish and chips? Oh, poor Gina.
Fresh blood in the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be. There was no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report. Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it.
But I found it. Me, with me nose for trouble.
Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed.
Huh.
And yet, during the cross-examination of the witnesses just now, you said this, Kazuma. Because at the time he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk?
Kazuma?
You know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would he have put his passport?
Objection!
Don't try to weasel your way out of this
But
one, Mr.
you knew it was a metal trunk.
Yeah, specifically.
Answer me honestly, Kazuma. On 31st of October, where exactly were you?
Yeah, we couldn't find him, remember?
No one could find him. At the port of Dunkirk, on board the SS Grouse. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke? Kazuma! What did you... I hadn't considered the possibility before, but... I've Kazuma's there on the ship, then it could only been for one purpose.
Oh no, Mr. Naruto. Surely you don't think.
Come on, Ryunosuke. You know the rules. The only thing that really talks in this courtroom is hard evidence.
Evidence is everything in court. Blah, 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 blah.
As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proved nothing. Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt that you were there that day in the same place as the inspector? He was there with Gregson? There's a clue that you've overlooked. A secret that trunk tells us. And we're gonna look at what that secret is next time.
Oh boy.
Is Kazuma the bad guy?
The gash sword!
Yeah, well, I mean,
The
I knew that some swordsman had tried to attack someone. But we could, I mean, so,
Yo.
I mean, if we want to try and make assumptions here.
A katana could go through and make a gash like that.
Yes, it could.
Katanas are sharp as
And
hell.
we're probably going to do that whole thing where it's like, you're holding something right there by your side as always. Do you mind unsheathing that? Is there perhaps some kind of a scrape on there that you can't get rid of?
Little scratch on there, buddy?
Is he evil as fuck, dog?
I hope not.
Because, I mean, because he's acting very strange very
I think
bloodthirsty.
he's just fueled by blind vengeance.
I mean, it would be interesting.
Because vengeance does stuff to people,
Yeah.
you know?
It would be interesting to see him be so, like,
Glances at Sasuke Uchiha.
so, like, bloodthirsty for revenge that he's literally, like, done all this just to get Van Zieks put away, to get his revenge. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Was it? Because, his name was on that disc. Kazuma's name was on the disc.
He was. Yeah. Kazuma,
Bro,
Kazuma, Gregson,
Wilson.
and Asashin.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna figure all more of this out next time. Holy moly.